We've got breaking news right now. We now know what Republicans want in exchange for an extension of the Affordable Care Act tax credit, and it's abortion restrictions. Republicans are demanding in the United States Senate for extreme abortion restrictions to restrict federal funds for abortions and also the restriction of more reproductive rights for women across America. And in exchange, they'll consider voting for Affordable Care Act tax credit extensions. Remember, Senate Republicans, in agreeing to this deal with 8 Democrats, agreed to have a vote in December on extending the ACA credits. They did not agree to extend the credits. And we're now learning exactly what they want in negotiations between Republicans and Democrats as we head into December. And well, folks, it's a non starter. And as it currently stands, it looks as though these tax credits are not going to be extended, not in the Senate, not in the House. And millions of Americans next year will pay a higher premium because of it. So I need your help to like, comment, share, and subscribe to support and spread the word. So let's break down exactly what Republicans are looking for this evening, because this government shutdown bill has passed the United States Senate with support from 8 Democrats. It's heading to the House of Representatives. And this evening, Senate Majority Leader John Thune says that there will be negotiation on the tax credit after the government is officially reopened. He said that one condition will be stricter rules pertaining to the Hyde Amendment, which bars federal funding from being used for abortion. Essentially, to satisfy Democratic demands to comply with the Hyde Amendment when Obamacare passed in 2010, the law does not allow federal funds to cover abortions. Some states allow people insured under Obamacare to access abortion coverage using state or other funding. Republicans want to change that. Thune told reporters, that's what we're going to negotiate. A 1-year extension along the lines of what Democrats are suggesting and without Hyde protections. That's just doesn't even get close. So it's also, mind you, not a full extension of the ACA tax credits indefinitely or for 3 years. They're just going to negotiate a 1-year extension in exchange for abortion restrictions. And while other senators on Capitol Hill, like Republican Senator Mike Brown, says that you won't get any Republican votes to extend the money without more stringent abortion limitations. That's the message that we shared with a lot of our Democratic colleagues. If you can't do it under your existing framework, and you're never going to get any Republican votes, because we believe strongly taxpayer dollars should not go to fund abortions. They have a different point of view, but it's pretty clear Republicans are solid on that particular issue. And well, here's the thing. Democrats are saying no. Democrats are saying we're not going to agree to this. But that creates a stalemate over Affordable Care Act tax credits. Here's what some Democrats are saying. Chris Murphy from Connecticut is saying, I don't think you're going to get Democratic votes talking about abortion. But there are conversations you can have about the structure of the subsidies once you get into negotiation. I've heard there are concerns about income caps and no premium plans. Brian Schatz said that the Republican Party's abortion demand seems like a smokescreen, disguised to the party's unwillingness to continue that money, which was first passed back in 2021. The subsidies limit premiums to 8.5% of an enrollee's income. And when asked what the future is for Trumpcare, what does Trumpcare look like? Dr. Oz, one of Donald Trump's health officials, couldn't really give an answer.
Oz, welcome to you. Good to get you back on the program. So what would Trumpcare look like?
Well, these are all ideas that we're still working on, in part because until the government shutdown formally ends, we don't have all the people in the room who need to work on these programs, including actuaries and insurance experts. But let me take
Dr. Oz.
So nothing. We don't know what Trumpcare would look like if the Affordable Care Act is abolished. And we're looking at this evening, the Affordable Care Act tax credits, well, they're not going to get extended as it currently stands because they want abortion restrictions. Republicans and Democrats are saying, no, we're not going to give it to you. And we're in a situation now where we're in a stalemate that many people predicted. Many people predicted that essentially this would, by agreeing to reopen the government, these Senate Democrats didn't actually get anything of substance. Instead, they got the promise of a vote. But promising a vote is very different from an actual confirming that the vote will go through. And well, now the vote is not going to go through based on all intents and purposes. But remember, this is the Senate. This isn't even the House of Representatives. And Mike Johnson in the House is not committing to a vote at all. He is not committing to a vote on the Affordable Care Act tax credits, even if, let's just put it this way, even if they agree to whatchamacallit, abortion restrictions in the Senate. That may not even be enough for the House of Representatives. He's not committing to it at all. And that's not the only thing that we're learning about this bill tonight. We're learning about a secret provision that Senate Republicans threw in the bill that would help them get a windfall, $500,000 each of your taxpayer dollars. It's a provision that allows them to sue the federal government if the federal government seized any phone records or data from them. And I think it's something that just shows where priorities are at. Let me read you this. The provision in the bill retroactively allows senators targeted by Jack Smith to sue the federal government because, quote, the provision is retroactive to 2022. It would appear to make eligible the 8 lawmakers whose phone records were subpoenaed by investigators for Mr. Smith as he extends efforts by Donald J. Trump to obstruct the results, or as he examined efforts to obstruct the results of the 2020 presidential election. These 8 Republican senators, Lindsey Graham, Marsha Blackburn, Bill Haggerty, Josh Hawley, Dan Sullivan, Tommy Tuberville, Ron Johnson, and Cynthia Loomis all had their phone records examined by Jack Smith and his team. If this bill passes as is, they'll be able to sue the federal government and each earn $500,000 per violation, which means that if Jack Smith got, let's say, 2 of their phones, their personal phones and their Senate phones, that's $1 million. Let's say multiple occasions, that's each violation, 3 violations, $1.5 million. You know whose money that is? That's your money. Taxpayer dollars will be used to cover these massive windfall payments that will go directly to senators who will be suing the federal government for accessing their cell phone data as part of an investigation into the 2020 election overturning effort by Donald Trump and his allies. This is the bill that tomorrow House Democrats and House Republicans will be voting on. Now, Adelita Grijalva, the Congresswoman-elect from Arizona's 7th Congressional District, will be sworn in ahead of the vote. She will also be the 218th signatory on the Epstein Files discharge petition, and I'll have more on that tomorrow once it happens. But for now, this evening, House Democratic leaders, Hakeem Jeffries and others, are whipping votes, telling their members not to vote for the government shutdown bill because it's a bad bill, according to them. Based on everything I told you, there's no guarantee and likely no vote will ever come in the House of Representatives to extend the ACA tax credits by the end of the year, which means that most Americans on an Affordable Care Act plan will see premiums double, sometimes triple, because these tax credits are set to expire. So that's all the news right now. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Tomorrow's going to be a busy day. Stay tuned for more. I'll have more